All right, well, what I'd like you to do now is go back and review the answers that you got wrong last week. I see quizzes as learning opportunities, so I don't make them worth a whole lot of points, but the midterm and final are worth a lot more, so I'd like you to go back and analyze why you answered certain questions incorrectly. So you're going to want to open a Word or a Google Doc, and you're going to answer a couple of questions first, and then analyze some questions you got wrong. So you may want to pause the video while you open a Word document or a Google Doc. And you can see I just gave you an example with the MLA heading, a title, and then what you're going to do, you're going to reflect a couple of times, and then you'll analyze some questions you got wrong. So first I want you to reflect on how you think you did. Take a few minutes and reflect and write down how you think you did. There were 4 sections, so write down which section seemed easy and why, and which section seemed hard and why. The first part dealt with topics and controlling ideas, and then and so those were where you had to put what was the topic in the sentence and what was the controlling idea. So that was part 1. Part 2 was just 4 short questions labeling what modes of discourse the passages were. Part 3 was a part that people had quite a bit of trouble with. It was just basically really one large paragraph, and you had to put what the main idea was, and then label each sentence as either major or minor supporting detail. And then part 4 was the longest section where you had different reading passages. So just reflect on how you think you did. Then what I'd like you to do is go ahead and go, oh, actually, let me go back and talk about, this is the part that a lot of people had problems with. This is questions, I believe, 12 through 19, and you had the paragraph that was about books that were sleepers and blockbusters. And so what I want you to think about is when you think about main idea, major, and minor support, for me it helps to think about it as an outline. The main idea would be your Roman numeral 1, that's your topic and controlling idea. And then major support would be like the capital letter A, and which would develop the main idea. And in this case, the major support was sleepers, and then there was major support about blockbusters, actually the other way around. And then minor support supports the major support. So what you had here is that the main idea was there were 2 kinds of hits, sleepers and blockbusters. So the first answer was main idea. Then you had the major support about blockbusters. So, and it talked about these are the kind of blockbusters, and then you had 4 minor supports talking about how blockbusters, or what blockbusters are and do. Then you came back, you had another major support in question 16. Sleepers, on the other hand, are unknown qualities. And then minor support, 3 points of minor support that explain or illustrate how sleepers are unknown qualities. So this was a section that a lot of people have trouble with, because you haven't probably reviewed main idea, major, and minor support for quite some time. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go look at the test, look at your results. You'll see a link on the assignment where I tell you to do this, and write how did you do. Take a look at your test results. Which parts did you have trouble with? Which parts did you do well on? And were your predictions in number 1 correct? You know, how well you thought you did. And then, kind of look at anything you need to review, take a look at what you missed, terms or concepts you might need to review, write down these terms or ideas, because these type of questions will be on the midterm and final. And what I want you to do is I want you to analyze some questions you got wrong. And somewhere between 4 and 6, unless of course you got less than 4 wrong. But I want you to look at some questions, and if you missed them kind of in the different sections, don't necessarily just look at 4 that are on modes of discourse, or, just analyze 4 or 6 that are in that main idea, major support, and minor supporting detail section. Try to analyze them kind of in different sections, different types of questions. For each question in your doc, type in the question, or if it's really long, a sentence from the passage, and then the correct answer. And then what I want you to do is just, kind of look and see why you think you answered the question wrong. I think this is really important in quizzes. And write a sentence or 2 explaining why you answered the question incorrectly. And sometimes that can be just you misunderstood the question, you didn't remember the difference between main idea, major support and minor support. And you can see I give you an example for question 16. This is a question a lot of people miss, that this is major support. So I wrote down the sentence, sleepers on the other hand are often unknown qualities. The answer was MA, major support. And I just did a little brief analysis. I put this was minor support. What I failed to realize is that the next 3 sentences expand on this idea. This is really a topic sentence for explaining sleepers, so it's a major idea. Half of the reading is on blockbusters, the other half is about sleepers. So I think this is really important that you go back and you analyze these quizzes. We'll do this with most of the quizzes, and so that you kind of, the quizzes are actually a learning experience. So go ahead and do that, and when you finish that document, then you can go into the assignments tab and submit that.